All right, guys, breastfeeding. Breastfeeding. What is it? How do we do it? How awkward is it? All the questions that you might have. I'm going to go over super basic breastfeeding techniques here. Coming later this year, I'm going to be creating an online breastfeeding course to be much more thorough in this topic, and I encourage you to reach out to as many resources as you can find, especially La Leche League International or Evidence-Based Birth. All of them have amazing tips and helps for breastfeeding. And there are breastfeeding support groups, lactation consultants at hospital. Use all of the resources you can. So firstly, I want to go over latching the first time. Latching for the first time usually takes place within the first hour after birth. It might be different for you if your baby was born prematurely, if you had a C-section. A lot of things can interfere with that first hour, and that's totally fine. Worst case scenario, if you are dedicated and want to breastfeed, then there are tools and resources out there to help you figure out what you need to do. Lactation consultants and feeding aids and all sorts of things. So, after baby is born, she's going to be placed straight on your chest. The awesome thing about this is that babies have automatic instinct for finding your breast. One of the things that helps them with this is that your breast milk smells like their amniotic fluid. So when they smell that, they say, oh, that's home. I recognize that. I want to go back to that. Another cool thing about breastfeeding is that it helps contract your uterus, which helps shrink it up to its normal size again. And it is amazing how the whole body just works all together. God is such a perfect designer. So as your baby's on her chest, she's going to be fussing and crying. She's going to be moving her head around. And at some point, you might notice that she might start to nuzzle, also called rooting, which is basically when they're going to be moving their head around looking for the breast. Babies have automatic instincts that when something is brushed against their lips or face, their mouth just pops wide open. Now, what if baby is not opening her mouth, even though I'm brushing my nipple on her face? Shouldn't seem to be doing. Another thing you can do is brush their cheek. So brushing their cheek also causes their mouth to automatically open. So as you bring baby to breast, here's my little booby, baby is going to be nuzzling and feeling around for that breast. Now, the best thing you can do as far as positioning is concerned is have the breast and hold it with one hand. It's super tricky, I know. You're gonna have pillows around you to help. You're gonna have nurses, a doula if you would like, your partner. You're gonna have help, so don't worry. And it does get easier. That first time, probably gonna be the hardest. So with one hand, I want you to squeeze your boob in what is called the hamburger hold. And what this does is it helps elongate your nipple. It helps get the excess breast tissue away from it, so it gives your baby good access to it. So with your breast in the hamburger hold, you're going to direct your nipple and point it towards the roof of their mouth. Otherwise, make it straight along their nose line, okay? So you're gonna direct that straight in, and that is going to cause them to up and over. Now, as far as your baby latching, like how much of the boob do I put in their mouth? Pretty much until you get used to it, it's gonna feel like you're putting too much of the breast in their mouth. But there pretty much is no too much of the breast in the mouth, but there is the possibility of too little. If your baby is sucking on only the tip of your nipple, then it could cause your nipple to break open and all that sorts of stuff. Don't worry, you have nurses to help you, they're gonna help. So you wanna try to get as much of your baby's mouth over that nipple and some of the breast tissue as well. Now, what if they're asleep? It's time to feed, they haven't fed in a few hours, and they're not waking up. You can pinch their feet gently, and this will usually cause them to stir and wake up. Latching, breastfeeding. There are several different holding options that you can do for your baby. There's the basic cradle hold, and how you hold your baby is going to depend on whether you're laying back in bed while they're taking care and cleaning up your area after giving birth, or if you have a C-section scar to manage with, then you're going to need a lot of creativity. With pillows underneath, football hold is also a very helpful hold. If you're laying down in bed, there's the position where you have your arm up and baby's at breast this way. There's also positions when you're laying flat on your stomach to have your baby at breasted there. Finding which position works best for you and your baby is going to take experimenting and time. So don't be worried, be patient. You're going to find favorites, and there's going to be different ones for different times of day as well. Like I tell all my clients, Every drop of breast milk is a gift. Some people aren't able to breastfeed at all. Some babies aren't able to breastfeed at all. So no matter what you give your baby, it's going to be great. If you choose not to breastfeed, or if you don't breastfeed for very long, this doesn't mean that you love your baby less. Okay? You're a good mom and you're doing your best with the situation that you have in hand, and no situation's the same. And so we all have to adjust and make different choices. So no matter what, your baby's gonna turn out great. When you make informed decisions based on what you believe and what you know is best, you can't go wrong. Breastfeeding during those first few days, even if all you give your baby is the colostrum, will be such a great help to them. It helps them develop good bacteria in their gut. It helps them recover from birth. There's pain relieving elements in your colostrum. So it's gonna be awesome. I cannot believe this is our last educational video. I have a summary below to kind of sum up everything you've learned in the course, and then that's it.